Board, and this is Kitchen Table Productions, a show all about living well with low carb. Well, we're well into the holiday season now, and I'm going to make another great holiday treat. This is going to be a peppermint cake roll. Now, these cake rolls are actually very versatile. They don't have to be peppermint, but I'm making mine peppermint in honor of the season. And it works out great carb-wise, because a 1-inch slice can be 3 or 4 carbs, depending if you roll it long ways or short way. They're fairly easy to make, not too hard. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Alright, step 1, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Okay, step 2, I'm going to prepare my pan. I've got here a jelly roll pan. It's approximately 11 by 16 or so. It doesn't have to be very exact, but about that. And this is a sheet of silicone impregnated parchment paper. Now, this is going to have a tendency to slide around in my pan. That's no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it just very lightly here with some regular cooking spray. The only point of it is to hold this paper down. Yeah. And you definitely want to make sure you have a tray that has a lip on it. You're going to need that lip. Just get in there all the way to the edges. There we go. And now that it's in, I'm actually just going to coat it very lightly with a cooking spray. It has a little bit of flour in it. This won't add too many carbs, and that's taken into consideration. And this will just help it release the cake when it's done. Right, now you should really go and wash your hands. They need to be nice and clean for this next step. In fact, I would recommend washing the larger bowl and the little cup and your beaters and just about anything that's going to come into contact with these egg whites. You want them all to be very, very clean. And the reason, of course, is that if you are working with eggs and want to beat up the egg whites, if you have any sort of fat at all that hits those egg whites, they will not fluff up. So cleanliness is your best friend. This cake is easy to do, but there are some places that you can go wrong, and that's the biggest one. Also, nice clean hands let you use them as egg separators. Oh, I've got a broken egg yolk there. I broke it after I separated the white. Still, it's a good idea to check out your white, because even the tiniest speck of yolk will cause it to fail. This one actually still looks okay. I don't think that got contaminated. And of course, eggs always very messy. Good idea to clean up real fast. Alright, now I've got to process both my yolks and my whites. I'm going to work with my whites first, just because there's less chance of cross-contamination. I know that they're good now. I don't want to worry about beating my yolks and then have residue contaminating my whites. I'm just going to beat these until they're fairly stiff. Alright, my egg whites are now shiny, and you can see they kind of have these nice little peaks on them when I pull it up like that. But it's going to start collapsing, so I need to work with my egg yolks very quickly. Now I've got my 5 egg yolks here. I'm going to add to it 1/2 cup equivalent of sugar. Now for me, that's these 24 drops of a liquid sucralose. This is great because it adds no extra carbs or no bulking carbs in that sweetener. That's fairly mixed. It's not too bad. It's not going to get light and fluffy, of course, like the egg whites. I'm adding here, whoops, a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Alright, now I've added a few final ingredients here. I have a pinch of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of some homemade vanilla, but you can use whatever kind of vanilla you have that has no extra carbs. 2 tablespoons of flour. That's not a bad amount of flour for a whole cake. a tablespoon of cornstarch. Now I'm just going to mix that up really good. If you wanted to, and I sometimes do, you could also throw into here about a tablespoon or two of cocoa powder. If you're going for a chocolatey recipe, of course. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lighten up my eggs yolks here a bit with my whites. Just fold them together until they're well incorporated. There we go. I've got a light yellow, fluffy mess. Time to put it in my cake pan. And just get that spread out as evenly as possible. Alright, now it's all in. It's a good idea to give it a shake, a couple of thunks, just to help get it nice and spread out. There we are. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to move this into my oven. There. Going into a 400-degree oven. Now I'm going to bake this for about 15 minutes. Alright, there's my cake. It's looking good. I'm just going to bring this out and let it cool for about 30 minutes. Just sitting on my top of my stove here. Okay, now while that's cooling, I'm going to start on my filling. I'm going to start here with a tablespoon of cold water. It's just plain cold water. I'm going to add to that a half a teaspoon of unflavored gelatin. I'm just going to let this sit and bloom for about 10 minutes. Now, while that's doing its job, I'm going to start beating on this. This is a 8-ounce brick of cream cheese. Right now I'm going to add to this another half a cup equivalent of a liquid sucralose. Again, this will add no carbs for its sweetness. That's a good thing. Now this is half a teaspoon of peppermint extract. I'm only going to put about half of this in here for now. Peppermint can get very strong very quickly. And several drops of red food coloring, because I'm doing peppermint. It will also help ensure I got all the rest of those ingredients nicely mixed up. I'm just going to give this a quick taste. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of that peppermint in. Yeah. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to whip up this whipped cream, and I want it to stabilize too so that it doesn't collapse very easily. Now to do that, I'm going to whip into the gelatin that we bloomed earlier. Now as you can see, this sucker is a solid, and that's not going to work too well whipping it into our cream. Now the way we turn this into a liquid is we give this 30 seconds in the microwave on high. See, this is what 30 seconds or less will get you in a microwave. A nice liquid. It's going to be a little hot though, so I'm going to let it cool off while I'm mixing up my cream. Alright, that's what a couple minutes of whipping will do to you. It gives you some nice stiff cream. Now I'm going to put a few more drops of sweetener in here as well. Just because I can. And I'm also going to add my gelatin. Alright, that gelatin will stabilize that nicely. I just have to bring these two together. Now this is relatively dense and that's relatively light, so we're going to lighten up our cream cheese mixture. We're going to lighten this up first with about a third of our whipped cream. Very similar to what we did with the eggs. There we go. See how it's pretty uniform now? Okay, now add this back over into the light and fluffy cream. Now we'll reverse this folding procedure going the other way. Just cut it down through the center and up around the outside until it all starts to come together. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Now the fun part. Alright, here's my finished cake. It's nice and cool now after that half-an-hour rest. Just need to get all of my filling on there. There we go. And again, want to spread out your filling as evenly as you can. All over this cake, all the way to the sides. There we go, that's pretty even. Okay, now here's where you have your choice. You can roll it up either long ways, but via this long edge going this way. That'll give you 1-inch slices that are 3 carbs each. Or you can go up the short way, you'll end up with a larger round that will be 4 carbs each. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fold this edge over. You can actually use the edge of the parchment to kind of push the cake along. Beautiful. That looks so great. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rolled up cake and I'm going to put it in plastic wrap and put it in my fridge and let it chill until it's ready to serve. You theoretically could eat it now. Letting it have an hour or two will help it firm up a bit. Here we are, ready for my fridge. I just put it back on this. This is a nice sturdy base for it. Got my plastic going all the way, covering both ends. And we'll see this again in a couple hours. And here they are, my finished cake rolls. Now each of these half-inch slices is 2 carbs, so a full serving here is 4 carbs. If you really wanted to gild this little, you can take some sweetened whipped cream and frost it over the outside of the cake. Boy is that good. Well, there's our cake roll. It was easy to make, it's nice and low in carbs, and it's very versatile. One thing you can do to make lots of different flavor combinations, find yourself Crystal Light individual size drink mix packets. Those are the on-the-go size. Use those instead of the extract and the sweetener in the cream cheese mixture, and you have lots of really delicious flavors right there. As you can see, it was so easy, yummy, delicious. Try it. You can find the recipe online at kitchentableproductions.net. I'm Jessica Bohr, and this has been Kitchen Table Productions.